Ootori! Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? Oh, goodness, I can't look straight. Turn your eyes away real quick. Alright, we fixed it. Alright, what a scuffed introduction already. So, today, we have a bit of an exciting time. I always wanted to do a stream about this particular warship for quite some time, especially in May, right about the May 15th area, because that would have been a pretty big anniversary, but I was too busy being sad about myself. So we ended up missing it, which is pretty cringe. Nevertheless, here we are. To talk about the battleship Bismarck. For those who are unfamiliar, perhaps because you grew up in the United States and you didn't actually learn too much about this otherwise extremely famous warship, well, this is the stream for you. The Bismarck was completed in 1941 and was basically the biggest, meanest Mother Hubbard on the seas when she was completed. Oh, actually, that kind of brings up something else. Let's talk about pronouns real quick. Not my pronouns or anything. That's pretty obvious. But see, in history, as far back as sailing goes, sailors have referred to ships as she or her. And it's just kind of a thing that people have done. And it's not even specifically like European people or anything like that. Even natives across various islands, including Hawaii, the Philippines, and so on, also have records of just calling ships and sailing objects as women. And the collective belief is that because you are out at sea for so long and generally alone or with other dudes, since you're a fisherman or whatever, you have the comfort of a housemaker in the form of a boat. And so that's kind of where it comes from. But the German language is pretty unique in that it has a gender neutral form. And this is what most objects go under. So you have probably heard das Bismarck or die Bismarck, but the most correct form would be, not das and der, and die would be the most correct. Unless I have my pronouns confused. Hi, Kess. I don't think I've seen you around here. Hello. I hope you are doing quite well. I see you post so much more on Twitter, and it makes me kind of excited. I felt like you just died for a while. And so it's nice to see familiar faces. And I really, really like the updates that you've done. I just don't want to comment too much because I'd feel like I was some kind of weirdo stalker being like, oh, you posted again. Time to let you know the same things. Oh, God, where was I? All right. So first, before we dive into the warship itself, we are going to do the time classic tradition. We're going to look at the waifu first. As was the case with Enterprise and Prinz Eugen before, we're going to look at how Bismarck was represented in Azure Lane and kind of talk about that, and then we'll go to the ship itself. Oh, okay. Well, I'll finish the pronoun conversation later. So here we have Bismarck. Pretty standard, like blonde, long blonde hair, blue eyes. I mean, it's a German ship. What else are you going to have, right? We have a very stylized uniform into these kind of furry thigh highs, and then the propeller boots. As is the case with a lot of Kriegsmarine vessels in Azure Lane, the rigging has this sort of shark motif going on. And here we have her 15-inch guns. First time here, and yeah, on a hiatus. Yeah, man, I felt the exact same on at about the May area. It felt like just everything was exploding all at once. But yeah, no, nevertheless, welcome back. You have a lot of people waiting on you. Never be seen as creepy. Haha, we clearly haven't interacted that much. All right, so here we have Bismarck's 8 15-inch guns in 4 twin turrets. Very, very standard for Kriegsmarine ships. I don't think a single one outside of Scharnhorst and the Deutschland class ever actually got triple turrets, which is a huge shame because the United States very quickly figured out that was probably the best way to go, though I suppose escalation clauses kind of came in after the fact. So an interesting thing about Bismarck here is we have the colors right here, and this specifically. This mark is actually the insignia of the Bismarck. The Germans, as well as the British to some extent. So pretty. Oh yeah. She's real cool. They had symbols for all of their ships, kind of like a coat of arms ordeal, and this was Bismarck's. Bismarck, of course, being named after the Iron Chancellor Otto von Bismarck, who is basically responsible for having united the collective area of city-states into the proper country of Germany. And then he died shortly there afterwards, at least 20 years later. And then Kaiser Wilhelm II caused the First World War, which was actually, somewhat ironically, something Bismarck was very, very against. But here in Azure Lane, she kind of has this build of someone who knows what the heck is going on. Also, I quite like the fact that she holds a flag that has the Iron Cross, because the Iron Cross was the first uniting banner of Otto von Bismarck. We have a pretty standard Kriegsmarine cap going on here. All in all, she looks pretty good. I quite like her, and she was the first ultra rare that I'd ever pulled in Azure Lane, so I guess I have a bit of a soft spot. She has a personality of someone who's very cool, calm, and collected, but has sort of this underlying anxiety about things, and this is pretty interesting because the ship itself only ever did one mission. Her first and last mission was quite tragic, but mostly due to just general incompetence and kind of some issues with how she was constructed. And we'll get into that here, like so, when I switch the camera over. All right, so here we have the proper warship, the Bismarck. Let me move my screens around real quick. Okay. This is Bismarck as she appears in World of Warships, as closely constructed and modeled as she would have been in history. And you might notice that this color scheme is a little different than the one that you saw on the Waifu Bismarck, and that's because the Waifu has this paint scheme on her. This is how she was constructed, so you could argue that this is the most accurate representation of Bismarck, as she has the matching paint scheme of Prinz Eugen. And here you can see, the same turrets, a number of secondary batteries, and then the front turrets. But most prominent was her bow, or her superstructure up here, where the Japanese just kept building upwards and upwards in their pagoda-like structures. The Germans actually had their command centers right behind the B turret, because they believed that this would be the most protected point. You can kind of see the windows right up here, and then the fire control center would have been around here. And sure enough, that would have been great, except where is her armor? Oh. Armor layout. You can see that the plating here wasn't actually nearly as thick as it was anywhere else. This was actually kind of a weirdo death trap, though of course the command bridge and the conning tower was very, very strong, to protect the people inside. So what made Bismarck special is what they called the turtleback armor scheme. So let's talk a little bit about armor belts. In case those of you who have been to these streams before either forgot or you're new here, typically when you have an armor belt right around here, you want to make as many angles as possible, because generally speaking, whenever a shell flies to hit you, it wants to go through the path of least resistance, and mathematics will tell you that curves are better than straight lines. So if we go back over here, here we have the actual armor belt. It has a pretty slight slant, but what made it special was this. I can't really zoom in any closer. But if you can see, there's this line that goes here, and then you have another bulkhead that then leads to the citadel, which is basically the point that keeps the ship afloat. So the turtleback armor scheme was this idea of putting not one, but two slants before you hit the citadel, making it very, very, very difficult to penetrate. And to be sure, this was a very good way of going about it. It made the ship extremely heavy, Bismarck weighing it at just under 50,000 tons when fully loaded, which is almost it's about 2/3 heavier than the next like warship of equivalent size, which would have been the Iowas, or sorry, the South Dakotas. So she was quite heavy, and this would presumably make her very slow. But when the Kriegsmarine ordered these ships, they had three main goals. Number one, she had to be protected. Number two, she had to have at least 15-inch guns, which she has here. At the time of her constructions, 15-inch guns were illegal to have in the world, but of course, neither the Germans nor the Japanese cared about such things. And by the time the Bismarck was launched, the United States allowed for the escalation clause, which allowed for 16-inch guns to be placed on battleships. Sucks for the Germans because they were kind of behind. But the second main thing that the Kriegsmarine wanted was speed. The Bismarck, as well as every other German warship in the Second World War, was uniquely fast as long as it was traveling in a straight line. Because of how wide and how long she was, which, man, I wish I can get, like, a better perspective. Maybe I can. Let me put her in a port. We'll go for... Oh, we'll go for these fjords. Okay. Alright. So you see a tugboat back there? Over there. You can see some buildings nearby. There goes a cargo ship. Like, look at the size of these houses, right? And try to imagine just how massive this thing is. Also, another way that I like to do this is if you zoom in pretty close, you can see that there are doors littered throughout it. Well, that's a bad example. Like right here, right where the mouse cursor is, that's like a person, right? Or rather, just shorter than the average person. So this thing is huge, right? Nearly the size of a city block. Yeah, very, very big. But she traveled at a rate of about 32 knots. And this was important, right? The most successful ships in the German Navy were the Scharnhorst and the Gneisenau, which served in the First World War. They were also capable of performing close to about 28 knots, which the Royal Navy, their primary competitors, had a cruising speed of 21 knots. So the idea was that these ships were very heavily armored, decently well armed, and were fast enough to not just catch up to the Royal Navy, but also outpace them if they needed to. You would think that this would be just the super battleship to end everything, but there were a few notable issues. Number one, her firing arcs. Because of how wide the ship is, the rear turrets don't actually get a chance to shoot at their target unless the ship is kind of just broadsiding an enemy, which can be pretty dangerous. Normally you would think, well, that shouldn't be so bad with all of this armor, but unfortunately the deck and especially the superstructure were very, very vulnerable to the same tier of guns. So if Bismarck were to fight herself, especially at a distance, she had a lot of issues. Yes, the paint scheme. So my paint scheme is a little bit different. when Bismarck went out on her first journey, this is about what she looked like. There's a special name for these kinds of paint schemes, but basically it was made to confuse as to how tall or how big the ship actually was. And from a distance, the Royal Navy would indeed have issues trying to figure out which guns were actually the ones shooting at them. Not like it would really matter, but as well as having this camouflage, we also have this one. Bismarck currently resides at the bottom of the ocean, where indeed most of her deck is intact except for about this part where this hole is. The rest of it is cut off, and of course her superstructure and guns are all missing, but the deck is still there largely in one piece, and it kind of looks like this. She rests just off the course of Brest, France. I will not show an image because, as you might imagine, these iron crosses actually are a different symbol, and I can't show that on YouTube. But I do appreciate that Wargaming took the time to model mostly how she looks after her pretty tragic accident. But that's the Bismarck. So now we're going to take her in to some matches, and we'll talk a little bit about how she exists here in World of Warships. While I check my messages during the loading screen. All right. So, oh boy, aircraft carriers. You know, one of these days I'm going to probably do a like World of Warships sort of Q&A. I don't know, maybe like a how to play ordeal. So that way, every time I start streaming this game, there's not a lot of confusion as to what's going on. Oh boy. I suppose while we're waiting, I'll go ahead and... Oh, well, here we go. What I was going to talk about is the lone venture of the Bismarck, Operation Rheinenbung. I forgot to mention this, where your model is very lovely. Thank you. I'm fabulous, and I know it. Mama October Lights at October Lights underscore at October Lights underscore at October Lights underscore. Mama did a very wonderful job bringing me to life, and I love every moment of it. Confidence, yes, you can't, you don't survive too long out here without confidence. Have confidence. No confidence. All right, so here we have a tier 10 battle. We are a tier 8 battleship, which means we're bottom tier, which kind of sucks. All of these ships can deal a pretty immense amount of damage to us. All of these cruisers deal a pretty immense amount of damage to us. And these destroyers are real dangerous. You have none? Well, you should. I mean, that's just kind of how it goes, you know? So we're going to sail along with our team, and we'll be pretty good at keeping up with our scouts in the destroyer here and the two cruisers. This one has radar, being the USS Baltimore, and then the HMS Minotaur will help a lot in keeping us covered. And since we are decently fast, faster than even the USS Iowa, who was made to counter the Bismarck, we shouldn't have too much trouble keeping speed. The issue here, especially when represented in World of Warships, is that German ships, especially their battleships, are insanely inaccurate. Again, especially at very long ranges. Now, this is somewhat historically accurate, as almost every ship was uniquely inaccurate, because lobbing multi-ton shells that are essentially the weight of small vehicles across several miles is just not something that you can easily do. Oh, and then we have an enemy. So we're going to wait until we can see this Russian cruiser again. We have been detected, probably by their scouts, because we are a very thick girl. And there goes HMS Thunderer. Oh, as well as the Moskva, and hey, our sister ship Tirpitz. Right now, our goal is to just not get killed. We want to survive as long as possible while dealing a good amount of damage, but again, with an issue of speed and accuracy, there are some problems. Now, you briefly saw a destroyer getting spotted in that smoke screen, and our secondaries briefly opened up. Oh, it's gonna happen again. After the Baltimore has popped his radar. You can see all these guns firing. Oh, maybe we'll kill it too. Almost. Alright, well, we didn't get the kill, but good enough. Redeemed hydrate. Oh, you know what? That's what I forgot to bring downstairs with me. A freaking glass of water. Well, okay. I'll have to retroactively apply your hydrate in a little bit. For now that we have gotten rid of their primary scout, we're gonna push into this Russian cruiser, the Moskva. Since our secondaries fire automatically and they have pretty decent range and we have a lot of them, we can lay down quite a bit of damage and potentially set this boy on fire. But yeah, you can sort of see what I was talking about before, where firing angles are kind of difficult. If I move my cursor here, you can see that my rear turrets start to be unable to fire. So I kind of have to stay like so. Thankfully, that Thunderer doesn't seem to be paying too much attention to us, even though he probably should be. And there's the Alaska over there, which is pretty dangerous. So we're gonna try and turn in towards him. Hopefully our shells land. They did, just not for a ton of damage. We're probably gonna lose our destroyer there.
Concentrate fire on the designated target.
Blow them to kingdom come. Heck yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Fortunately, kind of in a bad spot because we don't have eyes forward. And that Thunderer has guns that can definitely get through our armor scheme. So we don't want to get too close to him. How is Iowa gonna have issues with Alaska? He doesn't even have torpedoes. What's up, Biggie? Also, hello, Ludens. Always a pleasure to see you. I keep meaning to, like, post and do stuff more with the Discord, but, hey, you guys? I am doing fabulously. I had a delicious breakfast of chicken noodle soup. Honk at me. Ah, my front turrets got blocked by this. Dragon's Dogma? You know, I've heard a lot of good things about Dragon's Dogma. Alaska has no torpedoes, so I should not be worried about this guy. And at this range, I couldn't possibly miss, except okay. I guess I can. Oh, that bothers me. Now Iowa's gonna come in and take my freaking kill.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
That boy is not going to last much longer. So we're gonna look at the Thunderer. My special commander skill activated, which makes my secondaries fire a little faster and a little more accurately. I'm using the special commander Gunther Lucens, who has basically special powers that activate when certain things have happened. So since I got more than 100 secondary battery hits, that power activated. And what's fun about Gunther Lucens is he was actually the Bismarck's admiral during her actual service. So I mean, it's a little fun to have actually historical commanders aboard the ships they were upon. Now the Tirpitz here, my little sister as it were, is equally fast, and so I probably won't be able to catch up. So we're going to be chillin'. For the record, inclinations are Scather, Challenger, Mitigator. Now, I haven't played Dragon's Dogma, so I don't actually know what all of that means, but I assume it's pretty dope. This class is Warrior. Say heavy armor and a massive weapon. Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of big guns and stuff myself, which is why I play a lot of battleships here in World of Warships. I also play a lot of aircraft carriers because I just hate people. And so I like to maximize the amount of misery anyone has. Not feeling too good for it. Who was that? Oh, the enemy destroyer talking about how he just doesn't feel too hot in that ship. Oh, let me shoot at the Iowa. No. Hi, Connie. How's it going? We're cruising. It'll probably. I assume the game will end. How long has it been? You were there at the last pizza cast. It's been like 3 days. And I streamed last week at about this time. Oh, there goes the match. So I don't know what you're talking about, Chief. Regardless, for a tier 10 game, we did okay. You're lurking? Hey, don't worry about it. Yeah, I know you were there. I point you out every time you show up. It's my boy right there. All right. So, for those who missed it, Bismarck is a famous battleship from the Second World War. Pretty much across the German tech tree here in World of Warships. She is the last one of these ships to have actually existed. None of these carriers actually existed. I don't think any destroyers past Z-23 existed. And the Admiral Hipper was the last one too, for cruisers. So we'll talk a little bit about Operation Rheinenbung, which if any of you are German, I'm very sorry if I pronounce like literally any of these things wrong. It's just I'm American and I can't correctly say things. So Operation Rheinenbung was about basically the Kriegsmarine wanted to prevent the United States from sending too many supplies over to the British. This was something that we did, or the US did, for the Lend-Lease program, where basically Winston Churchill called out for more supplies. But of course, America could not actually get involved with the Second World War, as we were, well, promising the American people that we wouldn't get involved in another global conflict. Basically, we kept saying it wasn't our business, even though clearly it was. So the way that we handled it was that we sent over a ton of old World War Clemson-class destroyers over to the United Kingdom. In exchange, the United Kingdom would grant us the ability to build naval and army bases on English soil. Basically, the idea was that we were setting up for war without actually joining it. And along the way, these destroyers, full of supplies and, well, guns and torpedoes, would let the British actually continue fighting the Germans. So ships like the Bismarck, the Prinz Eugen, and the Admiral Hipper were all made to help prevent this, which is why they have so many of these smaller guns. The idea is that the big guns would take care of armed escorts, things like armored cruisers, battle cruisers, small battleships, etc., while the smaller guns could take care of actual convoy vessels and things like destroyers, which you briefly saw is quite effective. The main issue here is that being a convoy raider, she wasn't very good at maneuvering. She was fast, but not particularly good at making good turns, and quite amusingly, some people put guns on ships. America puts ships on their guns. You know, you would think that would be the case, but the largest guns were actually made by the Japanese, and that was about the time that everybody decided that putting guns on ships was kind of a stupid idea. Because why would you put guns on ships when you can put guns on planes and put those planes on ships? Ha ha! I'm looking at you, USS Enterprise. But we've already done a video about you. So anyway, the Bismarck. Bismarck went around across the long way around Greenland, that is to say, Greenland and Iceland, which is to say very, very far north. And she sailed along with the cruiser Prinz Eugen, who we have also done a stream on. In classic German fashion, Bismarck fired her guns once at pursuing cruisers and knocked out her own fire control center, this little radar thing here. Because the guns were so big and the machinery was so delicate that the shock wave of firing the guns knocked the radar out. So she was effectively blind when firing from the rear turrets. The front ones were okay though. After blowing up the hood HMS Hood in a fantastic display of extreme luck, and taking a few pot shots from the Prince of Wales around her fuel bays, Bismarck ordered the Prinz Eugen to return to France, and then she would take the long way back around. Whereupon she met her fate by the Royal Navy via the aircraft carrier Ark Royal, who lodged a dud torpedo into one of her drive shafts that prevented her from moving any longer. Over the next 2 hours, she would fight in a 1v4 against two Royal Navy battleships, 2 Royal Navy cruisers, and a handful of destroyers, including a Polish one that quite amusingly flashed its flashlight saying, "I am Polish. Come at me." He didn't actually say the "come at me" part, but he might as well have. Now, while the Bismarck did indeed stay afloat for about 2 hours, she wasn't actually very useful for about 1.5 of those hours, because it wouldn't take too long for this other radar to get knocked out, and she was effectively just firing blind. A lot of people like to romanticize how amazingly tough the Bismarck was, and while it is true that her decks got penetrated only from the top and never from the armor belt, all of that armor doesn't really mean anything if you can't do much with it. And so she sank to the bottom within 2 hours and became kind of a love story about how strength and steel and fighting to the bitter end, none of that matters, right? She was a big, expensive ship that was made to make Hitler look like he had a lot of money. And when it sank, man, he took the other ship, the Tirpitz, and parked her in a Norwegian fjord where she still technically sits today. Basically, the thing to learn here is one airplane ruined this entire battleship's career. If that doesn't convince you that battleships were a huge waste of money, well, look no further than the Japanese Yamato, who also sank in the span of about 2 hours when about 150 planes sunk torpedoes into her. So that's the brief story of the Bismarck. And we'll go ahead and do another battle. Wow, the queue time is obscenely fast. But yeah, America stopped putting big guns on ships with the Iowas. Battleship New Jersey, which has its own YouTube channel that I highly recommend checking out if you're interested in all in that kind of stuff. They do daily videos about the Iowa class Battleship New Jersey, and she was one of the last battleships ever built, ever. So she has her own marks on history. Now we have guns with planes on them. Yeah, we have a bunch of fun stuff. These days, navies mostly focus on destroyers, missile cruisers, and aircraft carriers, since battleships don't really have a place. But here in World of Warships, none of that matters. We're big battleships and we're shooting at each other. Here we have no aircraft carriers. It is a tier 6, 7, 8 game, and so that means we are top tier. We can destroy a lot of these cruisers in a single salvo if we get real good. We have to aim quite closely and quickly. The Pensacola especially is just a floating citadel. The recoil was too big. Yeah, essentially. HSF Grafspe is going to be kind of an issue. Being spammy? Yeah, no, it's not a big deal. As for our team, we have a radar. That's about it. They don't have a radar. And 2 Bismarcks, Vladivostok, Kansas. The Akizuki here is going to be our freaking nightmare. This baby pumps out so much gunpowder in a very, very short amount of time. And Japanese destroyers have a unique property of being able to set things on fire better than most other destroyers. And fires are the things that make battleships hate themselves. Basically, it's an extremely stealthy ship. How do you type that fast? What do you mean? He's not typing that fast. You might just be slow, Chief. Oh, there goes somebody. Who is that? Oh, it's the other Bismarck. I'm gonna try that. Hey, we got something. There goes one of their destroyers. Akizuki's on the far side, so I don't need to worry about it. Who is this? A Gaida. Okay, I'm gonna hit my sonar to make sure no torpedoes are about to slam into me. Pop this guy. Oh, looks like I missed. Oh, I missed again. But this is the power of secondary batteries. And since we had our sonar active, we can see these torpedoes well in advance. Unfortunately, we're kind of caught in a very nasty crossfire. I need to get out of here. Ah, shoot. Probably gonna die like this. Get rid of this guy. Okay, he's gone. Ouch. This is how not to position as a battleship 101. But it is possible for me to survive this. I just have to keep angling. And make it around the island. We hit our self-repair party. So now that the enemy Bismarck doesn't have a good shot on us, we can keep dealing damage to this New Mexico with our rear turrets and secondary battery. We'll just have to hope the Ismail there doesn't violently explode. Looks like I won't have a chance for a parting salvo. But nevertheless, a pretty good run. But we should go help the Ismail. Let's get our guns turned around. Very good. Very, very good.
Torpedos achterhaus!
Okay. Ooh, I'm gonna run into this island because I'm an idiot that doesn't know how to drive. No. Fortunately, you can't deal damage to your ship by beaching. You just have to do the reverse of shame. Yeah, what he said. Actually, might be a smarter idea for me to just completely go this way. We'll get the guns turned this way. I'll just go around them so that way we can protect the cap circle that Akizuki is threatening. Ugh, that's rough. I can't see that far. Whee! yeah. Like I said, there's no real damage for running into an island. I wonder if he's just sitting there. Let me use the mini-map to aim a little bit. Nope. Someone is within my detection range, which means it's probably one of those destroyers. We're gonna hit our sonar. I bet you... Oh, that's gonna hurt. Or never mind, because he sucks. Okay, I bet you it's this guy. But I'm not gonna shoot back at this Bismarck, because right now I'm undetected, which means that he can't see me either. So after using our last heal, we'll sail towards the cap circle. Looks like the rest of the team is kind of in the same mindset. Spotting range decreased to 8 kilometers. Now, My guns have an effective range of 21.2 kilometers, but they're only really effective within 10, due to just how inaccurate they are. My secondaries reach out to 11 kilometers, and they're, again, more effective at about 10. So this means that if somebody is within 8 kilometers of me, I'll be able to ruin their lives. This sonar can see enemies and torpedoes out to a range of 6 kilometers. Oh, there he is. I can't believe all of those missed. But we know where Akizuki is. And even though my sonar just ended, I have a decent idea of where he's going to launch his torpedoes. He's probably going to run across this island here. So I need to make sure that I zigzag a little and also vary my speed so that his aim gets thrown off. I need to sit at such an angle to where he doesn't bait me into running into his torpedoes. But I do want more of my secondaries to fire. Regardless, Akizuki loses this fight real bad. Yep. Alright, so he's just probably launched his torpedoes. Otherwise, he wouldn't be sitting broadside to me. So I'm going to expect them to be right in front. They're probably going to pass on my starboard side. Get wrecked, kiddo! I've done this before. And now we're going to pull a pro gamer move, and we're going to turn right here. Oh, yeah. That's the good stuff. And he's parked in smoke. So we can see him shooting at our Vladivostok, but unfortunately what he doesn't know is that I have a 6-kilometer radar. Ooh, 7 HP. That's unlucky for you, Chief. Yeah, kill him. Alright, sweet. Now then. We gotta worry about this Admiral Hipper that's on the other side of this island. Oh, please don't die by those Vladivostok. Oh. Okay, very good. The Admiral Hipper does have torpedoes, and they have a range of 6 kilometers. They also do a good amount of damage and have a fairly short reload. Oh. Okay, I see where Hipper is. Alright, let's get turned around. Because Hipper doesn't see me. So she thinks that she's going to be charging that Vladivostok alone. Hello. There goes her torpedoes. Now, we'll try and get her surrounded. Oh, shoot, there's a Sinop over there. Alright, never mind. Bonk. Oh, I'm gonna bump into Vladivostok. Oh, not like this. Oh, turn so I don't get a penalty. Ah, shoot. I also need to be wary of Hipper. Her torpedoes are probably back up. Yep. Shoot. Now I need to accelerate real fast. Gosh darn it. This is probably the end. I take 4. Yep.
Wir haben ein Leck unterhalb der Wasserlinie. Wir laufen sehr voll.
Damn. Hey, got him. All right.
Das gegnerische Team hat die Führung übernommen. Gegnerischer Kreuzer versenkt.
Well, we did our best. Now it's just up to our Alba, but I don't think. Yeah, Sinop can delete her in very short order. Not to mention the Massachusetts. And the 2 other Bismarcks. Theoretically possible for Alba to win. Very unlikely. Alba has very strong torpedoes, being a Japanese cruiser. Her turrets aren't very good, but looks like she's trying to shotgun the Sinop. But this is a bad angle to do so. Oh, the Sinop's using HE. That's kind of bizarre. If he was shooting AP, Alba would be dead right now. Oh, Massachusetts? Yep. Nah. No 1v5 ace. Not this time. Hey, we did the best on our team. And we did better than 4 members of their team. So you know what? I'll take it. Alright, we'll head back to port. I'll probably change to another ship here real soon. In the meantime, though, I want to talk about the pinned message. So you guys might know that I'm a big fan of Isekai Inc. I think what they're doing is like really incredible. I think that the whole idea of what they want to do is worth supporting, and I would really hope that the rest of you feel the same way as me. Basically what they're doing is they're setting up a proper raid system for YouTube. It works kind of the same way it would on Twitch. Basically, if you're part of the Isekai Inc. Discord, which you can find on Ellie and Booster's Twitter or YouTube accounts, as well as Jusagi's YouTube or Twitter account, you can go to the YouTube raid server, and basically whenever someone like me is done streaming, for instance, you go to this other person and you kind of do the same thing that you would on Twitch. So I have my bird Kagerou. So we're gonna try that out when it's good. But right now there are only 2 of us online that want to be rated. Myself here. Are you the only one here? No. There's a bunch of people who are lurking. Basically, Google counts only people who haven't muted the tab and are actively watching as viewers. So I think there's at least 5 of you here, but only 2 are being counted as viewers. So I wouldn't worry about that. Nevertheless, welcome, Nya. I was explaining the new YouTube raid system that I'm going to be trying out as per the rules with Isekai Inc. So I will when we are done streaming, I will drop another YouTube link if someone is still active, and we will go and check them out. So make sure you check the pinned comment for the Kagerou ordeal. And for now, we're going to swap to our aircraft carrier. The August von Parzival, which those of you who play Azure Lane might recognize as this being one of the new PR4 ships. I have kind of a bizarre paint scheme on it, so I wouldn't worry about it too hard. But just to take a brief break from battleships. Secondary build Bismarck still a thing? Yes. The Bismarck that I play with is secondary build. And I have Gunter Luschens to improve the secondaries and such. But absolutely. Brawling is still not really that good in World of Warships, but it's fun. So, you know, whatever. Who cares? What do we got? 789. We are middle tier. That Edinburgh is kind of a big issue, and the Riga is a bit of a big issue, and all these destroyers. What a pain. Okay. I'm going to take our Parzival. Where am I? I'm going to move here. I'm going to start off with our torpedo bombers. The August von Parzival is built on the same general hull that the Graf Zeppelin was. So it's functionally the same ship, just with different aircraft. I hadn't heard PR4 was announced. Yeah. August von Parzival. Oh, good gracious. Now I can't think of all of their names. There's 2 German ships. There's an American and I think an Italian part of PR4. Oh, hello, sir. Sirs. Well, looks like we're not going to be able to fly out of this. So... okay, let's take out our rocket planes. These planes are special. They're AP rockets, which means they're real good against lightly armored cruisers like that Edinburgh. The blueprint grind is real. Yeah, I haven't played Azure Lane for a long time. Ever since the whole Intrepid ordeal happened to me, I just haven't really been the same. Alright, somebody else shoot at them. These planes are highly ineffective against destroyers. What I want is that Edinburgh. There you are. Ah, you're nosing in. Hi, Claire. I hope you've taken a bath. Oh yeah, that's what I like to see. Kill 'em, boys. Have I taken a bath? I have. Just before stream. My my bombs don't do any damage to this boy. But nevertheless, we'll try. Damn. Alright, well, somebody got him. Oh, I'm gonna miss this boy. Yeah. Yeah, Wargaming has some pretty interesting opinions as to what planes actually fit on various ships, but whatever. Actually, I have a pretty amusing story about the Issei Twitter DMs. What you mean? I haven't been able to check Twitter yet. Did I guess correctly? I did. Alright, let me check Twitter real quick. Alright, Claire. I'll look at this in earnest in a few moments. Swap back over. Yeah. Alright, this is Sovietsky Soyuz. A Fat 2 engine. Yeah. Well, Hitler wasn't actually too huge on carriers. He liked battleships and heavy cruisers and stuff. Wow, I'm gonna completely miss this boy because of the island. And I can't hit Kitakaze. Wow, what a shame. Yeah, he liked big old capital ships that fought honorably, notably without planes. Also, Hermann Goering, the leader of the Luftwaffe, also did not like carrier-based aircraft. He thought they were a total waste and did not want to give planes to the Kriegsmarine. USSR's greatest general, yeah, absolutely. Wow, how does that not hit that guy's citadel? Are you kidding me? Oh, that triggers me a little bit.
Unser Team hat die Führung übernommen.
Let me bonk myself against the island so this Sovietsky Soyuz doesn't one-shot me somehow. Our team is doing pretty good. So I guess I'll just kind of poke at this boy. And I'll fly over here. There's a Kitakaze somewhere over here. As my carrier bumps into an island. Let's see. Where is Kitakaze? Oh, he's somewhere. Alright. Let's try that Sovietsky Soyuz again. Sorry for never hanging out in streams. Seems like I just kind of... Oh, no, don't worry about it. I don't really bother to, like, freak out about stuff like that. You know, I'm not gonna hunt you down on Discord and be like, hey, where you been? Oh, we having a good time. Oh, there's Kitakaze. Alright. I'm gonna totally ignore his AA because I don't care. And I guess we'll go for Georgia. Georgia. That Soyuz got hammered, yeah. That boy got clapped. Now I haven't done like an abundance of damage thus far, but you can see here there's the damage I've dealt and the damage my team has dealt because I'm spotting enemies. So I've been at least a team player. Hunt me down on Discord? Oh yeah, sure. I just don't really feel the need to like be vindicated over the whole ordeal. Oh, damn, I missed. These rockets are, again, totally ineffective against destroyers, but as long as I can keep this guy spotted, that's what matters. He's probably gonna get an air defense medal. Turn 9 versus 7 is always lame. Yeah, agreed. Hey, I shot down the enemy carriers fighters, at least some of them. There's no way I'm gonna dodge these. Oh, I hit him. Damn. Okay. Go for Georgia again. Apartment is being remodeled. Yeah. You were telling me about the move. I really hope it goes well, but... Speaking of Nagato, where is she? Huh. Ouchies, my planes. Right on the first turret. Wow, the Georgia is so fast. What the heck? This isn't the big move still up in the air? Oh, I see. Kitakaze is dead. Okay. So all we have over here is that Georgia and the Chungmu. Chungmu has deep water torps. Oh, Balti firing up the radar. I'll just help over here. Oh, that was a good hit. And now I'm kind of running out of planes, but I want to go for Chungmu while they get rid of Georgia. Get him, Nagato. Get him. Yeah, kill him. That smoke screen can only be so big. Great looking planes. Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, I bonked him. That's what we were worried about. There he is. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Oh, okay. That's that. So, now it's time for me to move my fat butt over here. Actually, it's going to take me forever. Whatever.
Autopilot deaktiviert.
Oh. I like the BF-110. I haven't played the portable one. Or oh no, you're talking about World of Warplanes. Wow, people still actually play that game? That's crazy. I know that Tanks is still going, and obviously Warships is still going. And Warships recently had a desktop release or a console release. We did okay. All right, so now let's go back to the Bismarck. Actually, I want to talk a little bit about Issei. So Issei is a ship that actually existed. Japanese hybrid carrier battleship. Pretty good. Now what's interesting here is the planes that she's armed with. The Aichi M6A2 Seiran, right? So the Aichi did build an M6A plane, and it was put on the Issei. However, they were not called the Seirans. And the planes that they put on the Issei were way smaller. They only had one torpedo. These each have two. And they weren't nearly as fast. So I find it really bizarre that there were aircraft that Wargaming does have modeled in the game, but they put the wrong ones on this ship. What do I think about the War Thunder warship mode? I have not gotten far enough in War Thunder to actually play it, but I really wanted to play the Admiral Hipper when it came out, as I quite like that ship. No, this ship is like obnoxious, though I like playing as it. Guns are pretty inaccurate. These torpedoes are obnoxious. They're real slow. They don't do a lot of damage, but there's a bunch of them. But we might do another episode on the Issei. For now, let's go back to the Bismarck. I wish War Thunder would allow me to play as an aircraft carrier and be a mobile spawn point for other players who are playing like the Steve Flugelwin. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Which the Parseval is the tier 8 carrier. The Manfred von Richthofen, the tier 10 German carrier, they might as well just have Tiny Tims armed on their rocket planes. It's a little obnoxious. I guess Midway has Tiny Tims, so maybe it's less obnoxious, but... What do we got? 6, 7, 8. That Dallas is in a lot of trouble. These Fijis, they're in a lot of trouble. Oh, an Issei. Alright, well, you'll be able to see for yourself. I don't know if this is the Belfast with a radar on it, but if it is, then we're in a pretty good spot. Oh, I want to actually move this way. So am I stinking now? Okay. Let me actually, while we're sailing, let me see. All right, Claire. I'm going to tell you straight up, this is the best picture you've ever shown me. I wish the colors were a little more consistent. Like, the jacket that you had in the first image with the disgusting fishnets, I like that the jacket was also like the same color of green as your hair. I like that the gold was the same color as the eyes. It just, the whole outfit like came together. This is a very good outfit. Not personally big on like big boob windows, but this is a nice dress, and the cloak really sells it. This is the best image I've ever seen of you. There, how's that? Bayern is slow and Amagi is a glass cannon. Amagi... Oh, Bayern is definitely slow. Amagi is pretty special. I wouldn't call her a glass cannon, but she does have 16-inch guns. And her armor isn't as strong as other battleships. But, that said, a lot of us are pretty damn inaccurate. Oh, I'm gonna wait. Oh, I see. You're weaving. Okay. Was that too far? Cry. Let's see. Richelieu has all of her guns in the front, which means that she's a very good bow tanker, and she's fast. Damn, she's fast. She has an engine boost. Does this Algerie understand that he's broadside to me? I think he does. Okay, I'll wait. Oh, I saw that, Fiji. I saw that. Oh, cry. No citadels. She can get citadeled by same tier cruisers, especially if they're Russian. Baltimore, I think, can also do so because of the American super heavy AP. Let's see if I can smack a Muggy a good one. Damn, I didn't give enough lead. Nope.
Torpedos voraus.
I gotta concentrate a little bit on this one. I think I get hit by that one unless I turn at the right time. Come on, yeah, baby. I'm gonna start turning out of here. I want to clap that Fiji. Oh. I gotta swing my ass back around so I don't get torped. Okay, now Fiji's starting to deal damage to me. Ouch. Ouch. You bastard. Oh, what's up, Terrell? Wait, why aren't you not in bed? Oh, that's tragic. Isn't it like super late where you are? Oh, I saw that one coming. We're just gonna chill. Went in too far? Yeah. I definitely pushed farther than I needed to for the rest of my team. I got a little overexcited because I thought I could blind Citadel's Fiji. And I got caught in a pretty nasty crossfire. But I can heal most of the damage back because none of it was a Citadel. So I should be mostly okay. Our Nuremberg, however... I don't know. That's a very dangerous spot to be in. But if I squeeze myself into here, I can bring the enemy under a crossfire. Late? I'm only asking because usually we have Pizza Cast going at about this time. And they always say that it's like super like early or it's bedtime. Oh, I can't hit Richelieu. It's a tragic shame. I'll turn my guns. Ooh, disabling one of Richelieu's guns. Very, very good. Since that's half of her firepower. But yeah. Those guys went way too far. Here we're quite comfortably dug in using the Belfast smoke screen. Oh, there goes the Issei's planes. Come on, big money. Damn. That was not big money. Now I kind of want to stop here. And just kind of chunk Richelieu. Gonna aim for her guns. No dice. Oh god, who's that? Oh no, that's an angry looking smoke. Oh. Kidding me? This sucks. I didn't think it would be like this. Fudge. No. You can't just farm me from smoke. That's not fair. Ouchies. No. 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 Yeah. I'm reliving the Bismarck's history. Hey, a much needed heal. No, Fiji, don't do it. This guy's gonna try and shotgun me, but I'm already prepared. Oh shoot, it's Issei's planes. Not like this. Goodbye, friends. Oh, never mind. He sucks. He sucks. Oh, I can't believe how much he sucks at video games. Oh, shit. Alright, well. Damn. Alright. Ah, damn. If I had gone full speed, I might have been able to dodge that one, but alas. What a crying shame. Alright, so while we're waiting, why don't we do an Issei game? Because we have to wait for the Bismarck to come back. But no, Claire, I would say that you're decidedly not stinky. That image, ugh, that image is an A+. Bismarck is not the fastest battleship, no, but she is among the fastest in tier. She's actually only beaten out by the Richelieu, and of course, well, I guess Jean Bart is tier 9, but she's one of the fastest battleships. Alrighty. Yeah, Jean Bart's kind of obnoxious. You can't purchase her anywhere. Do I have Graf Spee? I do not have Graf Spee, but she's incredibly good as a tier 6 vessel. But if you get put in tier 8, 9, or 6, 7, 8 games, you get screwed real hard. Her AA isn't very good, but she is incredibly good against same tier cruisers and even many battleships. Hard-hitting AP, decent HE because she's a German ship, torpedoes the German Hydro. Graf Spee is an excellent ship. Just sucks to be up-tiered. Secondary build on Jean Bart, not the worst thing ever. Definitely not recommended. Of course, there isn't a single ship in the game where a secondary build is actually recommended, because they changed how HE penetration and cruiser armor works. So there are a lot of ships that just don't take damage from a lot of secondaries anymore, unless you play a German or Japanese ship. Graf during the original event. Yeah, I sure wish I had Graf Spee. Wow, Gnevny is shooting his own teammates? That's kind of nutty. I want to blast that Furutaka out of existence, but can't see him. Marakov. Interesting. Nicholas. Issei's pretty interesting because the way they decided to make the aircraft work is that, well, you actually use the aircraft like you were a carrier. Issei's guns are okay. They are the same guns found on the Congo and the Nagato, or the Congo rather, so I think they're 14-inch. They have an obnoxiously slow turret traverse. And the reload is pretty cringe. But rocket assisted takeoff, baby. Damn. They added more. Actually, they only added the one more with Yamato. One of the longest guns, range guns in here, yeah. Issei's gun range is pretty crazy. You know what else is pretty crazy? This BS. Now, he can pretty easily dodge these. The problem is that he has to dodge them. Oh, he's choosing not to. Oh, he outran them. What a bastard. It's not fair. Oh, I'll be back in a minute. Literally, 1 minute. What is this vertical dispersion? Oh, doesn't matter. Uh-oh. Honk. Ouch. Oh, you know what else was really funny about airdrop torps, which they're better? No, I'm kind of glad that they're cringe and pretty bad. Otherwise, they would be so broken. No, what's real funny about Issei? I'm not sure if you can see it. Right here, these are missile pods for AA. I don't understand Wargaming's logic. The ship has incredible AA for a tier 6 ship. It won't shoot down like a full squadron from Kaga, but yeah, seriously. No, the Issei has very, very good anti-air. Oh, you bastard. This freaking Koenig. Whatever, I'll just stop. I'm gonna try and angle. Oh, Kongo's not even looking at me. Ah, my rear turret. The hangar is in the way. Oh, slap. How many times is that kid gonna run into stuff? So Issei was a battleship or a battlecruiser? Technically, she was made as a battlecruiser, but she was converted into a hybrid carrier partway through the war. Yeah. Human trash. Interesting. Actually, I'll go this way. I'll help out our Colorado. Naval history is my go-to. So we're looking for Akizuki, or sorry, Ginevni. Yeah, here goes Texas. I got to see her last year. Oh. Please report our Texas. Texas is a tier 5 ship in a tier 7 game. Also, Texas has some crazy AA, so I need to make this quick. Oh. Oh, whatever. It is actually the best AA in tier 5. Best in tier AA. But that's largely because aircraft carriers don't exist in tier 5. Well, that's probably because Texas did serve in the Second World War and received those changes. Her sister, New York, did not. She was stuck in repair hell for a very long time. Yeah. The New York's class battleships were very, very slow. This Gneisenau is probably going to try and torpedo me. Oh, never mind, he just did. I'll wait for him to fully turn broadside. That looks like he isn't gonna. Not good enough. Yeah, every Gneisenau and Scharnhorst captain ever has to land the torpedoes. Where are those going? What the heck? Ouch. I'm not interested in charging a destroyer. Oh, I didn't need to clear that. God damn it. Whatever. Alright, now I gotta figure out a way to win. Since my team isn't that interested. I guess we go for a Akatsuki. Seems like a bizarre use of my torps, but... Pretty sure he runs into one of these. Nope. Good dodge. Oh my god. Cringe. This guy's shooting HE at me. What a loser. If I wasn't afraid of Akatsuki's torps. Wow. I saw this one coming. Ouch. I'm gonna launch my rear salvo. Oh, now he switched to AP, of course. Ouchies. Ouchies. Damn, most of those torpedoes missed. What a crying shame. Okay, so we can still win as long as we stay alive. It's kind of a difficult thing to do, though. My guns can't shoot from this angle, but his sure can. Ouch. Ooh boy. Ooh boy. Oh my god, I'm mauling. He's mauling. All I need to do is stay alive just a little bit longer. Just in case. I knew it! Okay. Alright. Go for the Andrea Doria. Alright, that's it. That's all I can do. Flood the waters with a million billion torps. Alright. Let's get out of here. Alrighty, so I think we've done ourselves a good stream. So today we learned about the Bismarck's brief history and how aircraft carriers are just the most superior type of naval ship. And we also learned that the Issei, for some reason, has a bunch of post-war modifications on a Great War vessel. Also that the Parseval is a ship that never existed, never could have existed, or, well, possibly could have existed. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to look at. I believe I can research the Richthofen, but I can't afford it right now. Let's see. The Richthofen is a pretty funny ship. Look at all these guns. This is what Wargaming believes would happen if the Kriegsmarine built another Bismarck and put a flat top on her. Because that's what the Richthofen is. German aircraft carriers, cringe. Theoretically, would have existed, but Zeppelin never really took off. We got the ME 55s. These things are nutty. But regardless, I'll go ahead and swap back over here. So, I wanted to go ahead and thank all of you guys for showing up today. Pretty short stream, not a whole lot to talk about. Let's see. Alrighty. Now, I'm going to figure out how to do this. Where's that YouTube rates? Oh, gosh darn it. The other person stopped streaming. Alright, well, I guess that's it. There's nobody that can be rated at time of stream end. Oh, yeah. Again, Wargaming has a bunch of real funny ideas as to what actually counts as a planes that did or did not exist in the capacity that they did or did not exist in. But we'll go ahead and call it here. Thank everybody for showing up. Tomorrow we're going to have a Therapy Thursday. We're going to try the YouTube raid thing again and see if it works out. So thank you all for showing up, and I'll give you all a thick... Yeah, there goes that raid. Yeah, can't believe it. But I'll go ahead and delete this post. Go ahead and delete this post. All right, and then that's that. So, let's Kagerou! Oh boy.